Welcome. Welcome to Not Feeling Like Myself Sundays. My name is Diana Patton. How y'all doing? It's Sunday, and I thought I'd just wear my hair a little spiky today. I had a big day yesterday working on with in Toledo doing an amazing event. So my voice is a little shaky because I was screaming, I was dancing, and I was having a good time. So I'm so excited that you are here. I see some folks coming in. Good morning. Good morning. You are on the you are in the right place. If you are a woman over 40 and you're dealing with symptoms of perimenopause and menopause, and you're wondering how you got this way, how can I get a sense of control in my body? I'm talking about this subject because it's near and dear to my heart because as a former athlete, always an athlete, got hit by menopause and perimenopause and no one really knew exactly how to help me. And I started having symptoms of not feeling like myself at about 50, I would say 53 years old. So, and I'm going to move this candle because it's a little distracting. I really started to do research on myself maybe a year after I experienced some symptoms. And one of my symptoms, my significant symptom, had to do with me feeling uneasy, feeling a sense of stress, feeling like my body was just out of control. So I started doing this research because I wanted to get better. And I really wasn't sure if I could. And the sense of emergency, the 911 feeling that I had in my body, like literally every single day, was overwhelming. And so I thought it's important for me to come on here as a person who is a leader in the corporate spaces and helping women speak up and advocate for themselves using their authentic voice. I thought if I'm going through this, I know that so many other women are going through this as well. I'm going to move this too. Obviously, I didn't do the pre-work well. Um, so these conversations, not feeling like myself, are the conversations I wish I had when I was going through this overwhelming feeling of distress. I am going to be talking to you through this series, Not Feeling Like Myself Sundays, because I thought this is like a great time for a lot of people who are getting ready for their day. And this is a topic I know a lot of women really want to hear. And the research is very clear that we need to start taking agency over our bodies, over ourselves. And so I just decided that I'm in control. I'm going to learn and I'm going to do the research on myself because our biology is very similar as women. We all will have a transition. We all will move to this, I call it the greater invitation. This is the best invitation that you will ever receive on how to learn about you, how to understand your biology, how you behave through your biology. And the research also indicates that what you experienced when you were going through puberty, when you were going through menstruation after that, and perhaps indications of how you went through some of your pregnancies, if you did deliver children, have an indication on how you will experience this second half of life. So, I want to start off today in telling you one of the most profound things that I heard, and I want to hear from you if any of you have ever heard this, that the word hysterical or hysteria is the Greek word for uterus. Have you guys ever heard of that before? Hysterical, meaning like not feeling like myself. The Greeks actually started to see this phenomenon of women who were feeling exactly about what we're talking about in 2026. They were feeling centuries before that. And the Greeks just called it hysteria because they were seeing that women were seen as hysterical. And so the biology has not changed. The issue is we haven't come to a real clear understanding of how to help us move through this hysterical feeling. Now, I often wondered where the term hysterectomy came from. The term hysterectomy means to remove the uterus, which is the base word Greek hysterical, hysterectomy, to remove the uterus. Now, what we all need to really understand is that we are not crazy. We're not hysterical. We are not losing it. What we are is going through a significant biology change. And what's really going on is we are not understanding that our brain, our bodies, our brain is actually trying to rewire itself. And so what I want to do today is I want to dive into the science because I really have been listening to the experts talk about this because it's not very clear. It's not very out there about what's really going on. So the goal of today's live is for me to be able to, of course, talk to you, and I would like to hear from you and see if you've had any of these feelings and in what research and knowledge you have learned in the marketplace about menopause. What are you reading about menopause to know what's really going on? So the goal is one, dive deeper into what's really going on, like what is actually the biological makeup of the brain, of the body for a woman who's going through perimenopause. And then what are some of the things that we can do about it? I think we're going to dive deeper into that into the next live. I think it's enough for today to know, again, and I'm going to keep saying this, that I believe we need to start to understand we're not robots, that we personally, we are our own full-time job. I am my own full-time job. And I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So, therefore, I am intricately made. Your body, your uterus, your ovaries all have these dynamics that are and the hormones that come from that are connected to your brain. They're connected to your body. So everything has this ecosystem symmetry within it. And when one of those hormones is decreased, then we will move into a different type of way. And so, which is the reason why often women who have hysterectomies go immediately into this significant change. So, right away, I just want to let you know you're not crazy. But what I want to do is, I want to give you the research. I want to dive deeper into the research because the research is not talked about enough. I really believe that a lot of us talk about all the negatives that are going on. And it's important to understand that this is not one thing that's happening. That's the reason why a lot of us going, I'm not feeling like myself. And I don't know what's really going on because there's a lot of things going on. And so I'm going to dive into the research and I want to read to you, some of the things that are being said by a lot of these experts. So the first expert that I want to talk to you about is Dr. Mosconi. Her name is Dr. Lisa Mosconi. She says that menopause is a neurological transition, not just a reproductive transition. So, neurological, that means that your brain, neurology is your brain. Your brain is adapting to a major hormonal shift. And many of the symptoms women experience are neurological symptoms, right? These neurological systems. So that just means that your brain is learning how to transition. It's learning how to go through this significant change. And it's not a character flaw. So, what we talk about in our community is character. And we talk about in the Rise Advocates movement, we talk about this thing called the path to power, purpose, and connection. When we go through these hormonal shifts, we think that there's something wrong with me and you're not feeling like yourself. You think it's you, you think it's your character. It's not. So can we just go ahead and agree that that's your brain telling you that something is going on and you cannot understand what that is. So if you're forgetting things, you can't focus, you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed by things you used to handle easily. You're having a hard time recalling a particular author. This is stuff that's happened to me. I was like, I'm in mid sentence, I'm a speaker. Okay. And this is the reason why a lot of us are like, oh, this isn't affecting me. It's affecting you. It's affecting your leadership. It's affecting the way you show up. It's affecting the way you speak on stage. I'm a speaker. So I have to recall things. Um, and sometimes, it makes you feel like you lost your edge, like you lost your chutzpah. You lost this feeling of joy and energy. And so these are the things that Dr. Lisa talks about. So she said brain fog is real. And this is the stat that I want you to know, that more than 60% of women report brain fog during perimenopause and menopause. And everything that we talked about is included in that. So you have to know that during this stage, your brain is dealing with the lack of estrogen. So your brain is literally searching for estrogen. It's trying to find it because the estrogen is the great harmonizer. Estrogen is filtered throughout your brain. And so Dr. Lisa says that when estrogen isn't present and the brain starts to look for estrogen, it's literally shrinking. It has a time where it's going through a shrinking, not permanently, but it's definitely, their brain scans show a difference. And so she says this is like called a renovation project. Your brain is going through a renovation project. Can you type renovation project? I'm going to type it in the chat because that's what we need to know is going on. Is your brain is going to, I'm going to call it, let's just call it the Great Brain Renovation Project. And there, we can start to understand that this is something that is not you as a character flaw. It's something that's real. So the book that I want you to know is out there by Dr. Lisa, Dr. Lisa Mosconi, Mosconi, is called The Menopause Brain. So I highly suggest you pick that book up and read it, or at least listen to podcasts, because sometimes a lot of us don't have time to read. I think that it's really great to just do a research on Lisa Mosconi and see what she has to say about the menopause. Now, the next expert I'm going to bring up is Dr. Mary Claire Harbour, the whole body perspective. And so what she has to say is that estrogen is a whole body hormone. She says that it impacts your brains, your bones, your metabolism, your cardiovascular health, sleep, mood, and muscles. So this is why I'm like so shocked. I'm like, why isn't everyone running to learn about this? Because this should be a daily conversation. Oh gosh, my bones feel like I'm hurting on the inside. I'm having a difficulty sleeping. Why does it feel like I don't have any, I can't build muscle up. It feels like I'm just turning to mush, right? My insulin levels are off the charts. I just don't feel like I have the energy. That's called metabolism. Your ATP factor, which is energy, is decreasing. So this is like, what? No wonder they were saying that we were hysterical, because our entire body is changing after estrogen. So, and of course, it gets into our head. So that's the reason why, you start to think, is it me? Am I the only one who's going through this? And because no one's talking about it, you feel like it's a character flaw. You feel like you're losing your mind. So Dr. Haber, it's Haber, discusses more than 70, get this, 70 possible symptoms of menopause. Okay. Her books are the new menopause, new perimenopause. See how they make it so easy for us? Because we don't need to have all these hoops that we got to go through to start to read a book. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's beautiful for you to be able to go here to learn about Dr. Lisa Mosconi and Dr. Mary Claire Haver, Haver. And again, she's coming from the whole body perspective. Um, if you can say in the chat that, have you heard of these experts? Have you heard of these conversations? Are these things that you are familiar with? I'm going to actually put these books in here so that you can have them easily. And I'm going to put Dr. Lisa Mosconi, and of course, her book is The Menopause Brain. She started studying the menopause brain when she was in school and has done a significant amount of research on, because she's a neuroscientist. And her study of neuroscience stumbled upon the fact that a lot of women are suffering from these issues. Dr. Mary Claire, I'm going to put Dr. Mary Claire Haver. She has the book called The New Menopause and the New Perimenopause. Menopause. First, I want to ask you, have any of you guys ever heard of these two experts? Have you started your research? In our last video, in our first live, we were talking about identifying when we started feeling like ourselves, right? And then today's live is to ask you, what are the symptoms that you have started to feel? Have you started to write them down? Do you know what they are? And this is what's shocking to me with a lot of women is we're not in tune with our bodies enough to actually know. And some of us can't pinpoint it. Like we can't go, yeah, this feels like this or this feels like this. I cannot express to you how important it is for you to get really, really clear on what's not feeling right. What is it? And so you got to get quiet enough to know, wow, I'm not sleeping. It's really hard for me to recall things. I feel like I want to, just climb out of sight of my body. It's really important just to even document those things. You feel me? So that's the reason why I'm sending you on a research journey. It's just not that easy. See, the thing is that you have to know this too. Medical science has refused to deeply study this because it's complicated. Dr. Haver says that there are over 70 symptoms related to menopause. So your symptoms might be different than someone else's symptoms. That's the reason why, and no one's talking about it. So therefore, we think something's wrong with us. It's just we got to get rid of that narrative. We got to normalize the conversation. Normalize. So are you in a group? Do you have people around you that talk like this? I just come to realize that this subject is a little taboo. It's going to take a little bit of time for women just to even have the conversation about it because we've been taught to be scared about it. If it's been since the beginning of Greek mythology and the Greek doctors to term the word hysteria to mean uterus, no one's really been talking about this. So I understand that this conversation is not necessarily the most popular conversation, but it's something that I'm going to keep talking about. Let me give you the last expert that I want you to know about. The last expert is Dr. Sarah Gottfried. Um, she talks about in the menopause in the area of metabolic perspective, a metabolic perspective. Here's what she talks about. Her work is something that I have been realizing lately, that insulin resistance, cortisol, metabolic health, hormonal balance, and stress physiology is all wrapped up in menopause. Now, this is where I started to wake up because I was like, what is I'm eating? It feels like I'm eating right. It feels like I'm working out. It feels like I'm doing all these things. Why is my insulin so high? Why is my glucose so high? And I know I feel like I'm constantly trying to do the right things. Why is this doing this? What's going on inside of me? And literally, I thought I had to give up. I'm done. I have no choice. This is my life now. I've got to live with high glucose. No, Diana, your body, according to Dr. Lisa Mosconi, is trying to do the Great Brain Renovation Project. So we've got to dive in and figure out what can we do to shift the cortisol rhythm. What you did in your 30s does not apply in perimenopause and menopause. If we can just start like really opening up our brain to that understanding so we can come up with a new strategy, we can really begin to change some things. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? So let me put this last expert, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is Dr. Sarah Gottfried, who she actually has written this book. Actually, hers are more on research studies. Okay. And she basically says that the strategies, of course, that worked in our 30s, they don't work when we're 45 and 55. And what she really emphasizes is inflammation. So a lot of us don't realize that when our glucose levels our glucose levels begin to rise, our metabolic function starts to decrease. That simply means that our inflammation markers are going to increase. So it's really difficult to lose weight. It's really difficult. So all we're doing is burning sugar, and we're not even burning sugar. We're not burning fat. We are, so what it seems like some women will say, it doesn't matter what I eat. It just, the weight just keeps coming on, right? And you're not crazy. You're not dreaming this up. And you are definitely going through a shift. Is this helpful to you? I just hope so, because I mean, I'm 57 and I'm just learning this stuff. I literally am overwhelmed with all of this information because I really believe there's one of two things going on. Like I said earlier, it's either because it's not hit us yet, and so we don't see it. But when you've gone through some of the symptoms that I've gone through, as I expressed in my last video, we're deemed as depressed and anxious, and mostly just given anxiety medication. And so therefore, we don't really, because most of the women that I deal with, we are type A women, right? So we're going after things. We are consistently feeling like we're on the top. We are like hitting the mountaintop every single day. And then boom. Then we don't even want to even talk about that. And then often I think a lot of women are just really just too daggone tired. I was listening to this woman who was talking about women breaking you got to break the corporate ceiling, and then you get to a certain age And they say, well, it's just because you're tired of hustling and doing all the things. I believe that we're tired because metabolically we're tired. We don't have the energy to do it. Not only are we with energy to do it, mentally, we don't have the mental capacity to want to take that on because we literally are going through survival. The Great Brain Renovation Project. Man, if that ain't something, it's like the Great Revolution. And so, why do we even want to break any ceiling? I'm just trying to stay with the ceiling I got. You feel me? So this is good information. Man, it's just so good. So the big message that I want you to take away from today, the big message I wanted to take away from today, and I actually want to give you some exercises that have worked so well for me because I just know that we need some tools in our toolbox because each one of these not feeling like myself Sundays is, I just envision that we're in here chatting with one another and talking and having conversations, that you trust me to have that conversation with you. This is actually the next book I'm writing called Not Feeling Like Myself and helping women overcome these feelings of hysteria. So, the big message I want to say with you is that the medical community is helping us understand what is happening. And that's beautiful. And I'm so grateful to Dr. Lisa Mosconi, Dr. Sarah Gottfried, and Dr. Mary Claire Haber. And there are quite a few other, I would say, experts who touch on areas related to these menopausal symptoms. But these are the people that I highly recommend that you pick up. I'm going to put this in the notes after we get done with this. But I want to help you understand what to do with the information. And the first thing, as I said before, and I'm going to keep harping this, one, when did you stop feeling like yourself? When did you start to not feel like yourself? What was your age? And what were some of the symptoms that you were going through? Now, why is this important? One is I need you to know it for yourself, but there's going to come a time when if you have children, your children are going to ask you. All right. If you have nieces and nephews, your nieces and nephews are going to ask you. If you have mentees, I'm a big mentor, they're going to start asking you. So, like, why not understand yourself? And I say, as I said before, put it in a notebook, put it somewhere, not on just your electronic My Chart. I would say take this information, write it all down, put it next to your will and your last documents. Why? Because these are the kinds of things that people want to know about you. This is that important. You need to start documenting this, not just for yourself, but for your legacy, so that people can understand this is what happened to me. Because typically, what happened to you is more likely going to happen to a person, a family member in your lineage, a niece, a nephew, a child. They're going to likely, not always, but they likely would experience some of the symptoms you did. So that's why it's so critical to write this information down. And I would also say that it's important for you to start to educate yourself. Educate yourself. Like, learn that you are a human being. You have a biology. It's not just like, oh, this stuff is happening to me and I don't know why. And it's just horrible. No, take agency, take control. The best way to have control is to know thyself. An unexamined life is a life not worth living. And most of us aren't living it because we have fallen into this apathy. Either we're so concerned with the things going on outside of us, but we're not concerned with the things going on inside of us. And it's critical to know that. Menopause is changing our metabolism and it's changing our nervous system. When I got shingles, that was the ultimate for me. Because I said, how did I get shingles? How did I get shingles? And you might say, well, Diana, it's a natural thing that happens to women. No, it's not. Because if it was natural, everybody would get shingles at a certain age. And not everybody gets shingles at a certain age. No, my brain was going through the great brain renovation project. And I was pushing myself using old strategies that I used in my 30s and my 40s that didn't apply here. And so, therefore, I started to break down, and shingles was the result. Do not tell me that that's a natural thing. It is not. And so, anyone who tells you that all of these kinds of things are just going to happen, no, they're happening because my brain and my body doesn't have those same hormones. That's what's going on. Do you feel me? So that's why I got shingles. It's because I am a push, I'm a go, and I think I'm sleeping. I believe I'm sleeping. I believe I'm relaxing, but I'm not. But I am now, right? And I like to just keep that real because a lot of us pride ourselves on being these people. Like I would pride myself on being a person who was a meditator, who did yoga, who did all of these practices, but I wasn't mentally there. I was performing. You pick me up? Because I was performing yoga, I was performing meditation. I wasn't applying the sense of ease throughout that. And then as a result, when the menopause hit, it's just everything broke down, right? So that's what I want to share with you. Now, I want to close this live here today. Menopause is an invitation, not a punishment. So I want to ask you what menopause and perimenopause is inviting you to become. What is it inviting you to become? And I want to take you through a practice that a lot of high level type A corporate women say, I don't have time for that. Well, yeah, you're not wanting to take the invitation. You're using these old strategies. And I just want to say, those strategies got you somewhere, girl. I mean, they got you to the top, they got you that title, they got you that board seat. The hustle was real. You know how to hustle, you know how to fight, you know how to do those hard things because you can do hard things, but you're not transferring that to the next level. And this level, I'm here to tell you, is a beautiful level. It is a beautiful level. But you're going to have to take some new strategies. So you want the red pill or you want the blue pill? Which one you want, right? Because one of them is going to help take you to the next level. And I want to invite you to that next level. You can just call me Morpheus, right? From the movie The Matrix. You can call me Morpheus because I'm here to let you know that there's a better way. I'm here to let you know that first 20, 30 years of, I wonder what people are thinking about me, fearing all these like mental gymnastics. You don't have to do that. You didn't have to do that then, but you didn't have enough people telling you how to walk through that process because all corporate women, I should say a lot of corporate women were the hustle, the grind. You got to look like this. You got to act like this. You got to do this. And statistically, those were likely true, but it never gave you an alternative. So my job is to tell you there is an alternative if you choose to take it. So one of the things that I want you to understand is the critical importance of that breath because some people are like, I'm going to deep breathe. You don't realize the neurological power of that. So, because your brain doesn't have enough blood and oxygen because of the estrogen. because your brain is going through that brain renovation project, and that's why those brain fogs are so real. So I'm going to tell you, when I'm preparing to do a live, or I'm preparing to go on stage or in a big meeting, or I have to, prepare myself to do a proposal of some sort, I am literally breathing. So I'm going to take you through a little exercise that I do. You likely have heard these brain breathing exercises. I've done them forever, and I still do them. And it helps me recall things. See, because a lot of times when you're trying to recall something, your brain is going, blah, 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 blah. So I want to take you through a breathing exercise that Dr. Andrew Weil has created for people with anxiety. It's going to help you get functionality back into your brain. It's going to help you feel a sense of ease. It's going to move you out of dis-ease and in regulation. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose for 4 counts, and then we're going to hold it for 7, and then we're going to go out for 8. So it's going to go breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then breathe out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then breathe out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with my eyes closed. All right. Actually, I'm just going to do it with my eyes open, because I want to tell you that you can do this in a meeting when someone's talking. All right. I'm going to do it, and you're not even going to know I'm doing it. Okay. I'm going to do it. Okay. If you're coming in, I'm doing my breathing exercise. For me, I do my nose. I don't breathe through my mouth. I breathe through my nose. And the reason why I do that is because it slows your heart rate down. Because some of you go like this. That's not getting into your diaphragm. It's not getting into your bloodstream. It's not doing much at all, except for causing you mini stress. So when you breathe through your nose, only your nose, it just takes it to a whole new level. And as you saw, you couldn't tell that I was doing that, right? And it gets you a calm over your face. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to practice it again and show you the 4, 7, 8 breathing methodology. Okay? I'm going to do it again. And that's all I've done is just breathe. That simple exercise can take you to a whole new level. And you don't have to leave the room to do it. So, will you do it? This has been an episode that I really believe, I've been thinking about doing these episodes for so long. And I realized that this is going to take a little bit of time to catch on, because some of you might say, well, Sundays are not a good time, but the right people will be here at the right time, right? And I know it because I feel it. I just know it. So here's what I want to leave you with. And if you're going to watch the recording, I would love to hear your thoughts here on I would like for you to identify a couple things. What is this season trying to teach me? And some of you are like, you might have this attitude, bull crap. This season is horrible. I can't stand it. I wake up sweaty. You don't understand. And listen, I get all that, right? But that's not what the season is. Now, those are the symptoms. That's what this, like there's some symptoms going on because I mean, I'm doing a bodybuilding competition, right? And I could say the same thing. I could say, this is horrible. I don't get all the same amount of calories. My body is sore. Sometimes I'm tired and yeah, those are the symptoms. But what the season is teaching me and preparing for this bodybuilding competition is that I'm able to build muscle, but I have to do it in a different way. And the slowdown method is the right method. Because before I was running, I was doing all of these different things like CrossFit and staying up late, not getting enough sleep, feeling stressed, not eating enough, because that was the other thing too. I wasn't eating enough. And so I was not even gaining muscle because I couldn't gain muscle. The season is teaching me something. So what is the season teaching you? What is it inviting you to become? So that is what I have for you. And I want to end it with that's not all. You want to take another step? We have what's called the Executive Biology Audit. If you consider yourself a woman in perimenopause, menopause, you especially are working in corporate, you're not feeling like yourself. This is the executive audit that you need to take. It's going to help you gain some introspection because these are the kinds of questions that you need to answer for yourself. What's my energy like? What is my nervous system telling me? What identity am I using that may not be serving me well? And what is your executive presence? These are the four quadrants of our executive biology audit because I need you to know your numbers. That you're not crazy. You just don't know what's going on. And when you know what's going on and you start to identify it, your life will change. I promise you. You got to get focused on you. Make you your full-time job, not your company, not your kids, not your spouse, not your boyfriend, not social media, you. And I'm here to help you do that. You can consider me Morpheus. I'm happy to help. This is your invitation. What season is this teaching you? What are you being invited to become? I hope you join me for the next series of Not Feeling Like Myself Sundays. We're going to be diving in deep. As you can tell, I like to keep it real. I like to keep it real. So I hope that you join me. I hope this information was helpful. Please share in the chat what are going to be your next steps. But the first thing I hope you do is answer that question. Okay? Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next Sunday. Same place, same time.